Hello! This is the first part of a series of videos that I'm making based on an evening class that I used to teach called Build Your Own Computer. I've had a look online, mainly on YouTube, and whilst there are a lot of sort of how to build your own computer videos, they tend to focus mainly on sort of the assembling part of it, which is actually not really the most difficult part of this. Calling it build your own computer is slightly inaccurate because that makes it sound harder than it actually is. What you're doing really is you're assembling it. I used to do training for Evesham Technology, it used to be called Evesham Micros, and their assembly staff in the production line had to make about 6 an hour. That is an assembly job. You don't really have to understand anything about how the computers work or what parts you're given or even how the parts are made. You're mainly just putting them together, and you're doing it at a pace that maximizes the profit for the business. So the actual putting it together, if you're doing it competitively, that's when it starts to get a bit sort of interesting. But the actual assembly of it is going to be quite easy, so don't worry about that, and I can talk you through a few little tips and tricks to do it. What we're really focusing in this series of videos is what your motivation for doing it is. If your computer at the moment is running a bit slow and all you do is browse the internet and check emails and do the occasional Word doc, then don't buy a new computer. Just replace the hard drive in your existing machine with a solid state one, and that will save you hundreds and hundreds of pounds and will give you quite a nice boost in performance. But if you are looking to build a particular machine, then the main thing we need to consider is what you're going to use it for, and how much stuff you can reuse if you've already got a computer. So are you buying an entire system including monitor, keyboard and mouse, or are you just buying the main base unit, or are you going to keep the case? All these kind of things we'll cover when we're looking at how much money we want to spend, because that is the most important thing. Set your budget. It's very easy to get a bit carried away. What you need to do is decide how much money you've got to spend on a computer, not ask how much a computer costs, because you wouldn't do that with a car, would you? You wouldn't walk into the BMW dealership and say, what car do you think I should buy? Because you're walking out with the most expensive one you could afford, and even most expensive one maybe you can't afford. So set your budget first of all. Also, time isn't money. If you're doing it for fun, or you're doing it just as an educational thing, or you're doing it to save money, then obviously doing it yourself means you've got to pay someone else to do it. That's actually a good motivation for doing it. You can save yourself quite a lot of money, as we'll discover. I'll also expose a few of the tricks that a lot of the manufacturers use to make you think you're getting a good deal, when in fact PC components cost what they cost. Obviously there are economies of scale. If you buy 1,000 motherboards, that's going to be different to if you buy one, but ultimately I'll expose a few of the little tricks that they do so that you can actually build a better machine than one that you could perhaps buy. Really, the primary thing I want to sort of instill in you is a bit of confidence. If you obey a very simple rule, it's called the two-finger rule, which means I can do that and you'll remember it. If when you're assembling the computer you use 2 fingers or a finger and a thumb, you can't physically break anything. It's when you're putting a whole weight on it that things start to snap, and if it's going to go in the wrong place, that's how you break it. But if it's in the right place, you can normally put it in with 2 fingers. So don't worry about breaking stuff. I'll talk you through all of that. There won't be any problems at all. So in the background what I'm doing is I'm assembling rather a cool bit of Lego, and I'm just putting it together. I didn't make the Lego, I didn't mold the plastic, I didn't do anything. All I did was assemble it, and that's what we're looking at here. So once you've decided how much you want to spend, I'll talk you through all the parts that you need to get. I'll talk you through the range of parts that you can get, the sort of range of what the difference between the most expensive ones are and the cheapest ones. I'll talk you through all of that. We'll look at whether you can reuse stuff. We'll take in the whole factor, the whole of building your own computer, and hopefully it will match you as the viewer. That's going to be quite a difficult thing for me to do because there's going to be lots of people watching this, I hope. But hopefully everyone watching it will be able at the end of it to go away, build their own computer, and if you've got any questions you can just stick them in the comments. So this first video really is to get you a bit of confidence. Set your budget, you won't break anything, take your time, and all you're going to need is a screwdriver. That's the only tool that you're particularly... I will do another video where you can do it sort of professionally and the kind of tools that I use and the kind of things that you can get up to. If you want to get a toolbox sorted out to, maybe pursue this as a bit more of a hobby, but you're just going to need a sort of Pt.1 screwdriver. That's all you're going to need. Just about everything can be put together using that. So I've almost finished making what I'm making. It just goes to show that with you've got you've got the right parts and the right kind of confidence and the right kind of help and the right kind of instructions, you can actually build something and assemble something really that's actually pretty funky. This never gets old. I love this little Lego set. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's the end of the first part of the video. The next video we'll actually look at the parts you need to buy, and then we'll look at which ones you choose. So any comments about this, stick them in the comments. Liking and subscribing is appreciated, and as always, thanks for watching.